What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 18 of the Art Meets Culture podcast. I'm your host, Ade Sanusi. Hope you guys are all well. It's another beautiful day today. Sun is out, sun is blazing. You know what I mean? We're loving that. You know what I mean? Life is good when the sun is out and it's low-key a little bit hot. You know what I mean? But we enjoy that weather. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Thank you so much for your shares, your feedback, your positive feedback. Great to hear that, the podcast is inspiring, not only artists, also, photographers, people on a day-to-day who are trying to, make sure they've got something occupied, going. You know what I mean? So that, they turn to the podcasts to listen, to hear the stories of artists and to buy into what the artist is doing. Us as a platform, we definitely don't want to do anything cliche for you. We definitely don't want to do the typical things that's going on the internet. We try to always, look to do something different. And thank you for, seeing that and appreciating that, so I salute you all for the support, for the feedback, for the DMs, for the likes, for the shares, for everything. Do you know what I mean? So salute to you guys all. You know what I mean? We're all going to come out of this stronger and more powerful. So keep on being positive and keep locking in and getting your art out there and getting your creative juices going from it. So today, we're joined by the artist Resistant. He goes by the name of Art by Resistant on Instagram. Samir, he's a top gentleman who I got onto the platform, I believe 3 years ago. And he's just been an artist who's, always been looking to find himself through his art, expressing his love for, Black culture, 90s era, 2000s era. He's someone who looks at our culture as something as a freedom space, and he looks at it as an inspirational piece as well. Do you know what I mean? I go into conversations with him about his Bengali culture. How comes they're not as open-minded as many should be, in terms of their younger generation, looking to be in other avenues, as in creative industries, maybe music, art, fashion. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's shied away from because it's some people, the culture sees it as it's not guaranteed to make you some financial gain or financial income. We've had that as Africans as well as Nigerians, Ghanaians, or wherever you're from in Black culture. It's like, oh, this ain't gonna make you enough money, this ain't the wave for you. But we've pushed on, we've managed to overcome and showcase that this is actually a viable situation for us to make some financial gain, and we actually know how to make these tangible businesses happen. So he's looking to push that narrative. This conversation went from talking about art to now talking about everything as a whole: motivation, mindset, belief, integrity, everything. And I knew I was able to pull that out of him because like I said, I'm looking at this thing now. This is more than our art, for instance, where we are pushing art as well, but it's more than that. It's more than what we do. It's more than the paintbrush. It's about us as humans as well, and what we're doing to push bigger stories, stuff that's bigger than us, do you know what I mean, to the forefront. And I believe we're doing that, And Samir, he's doing that very well. He's pushing the narrative, and he's like, almost, I won't say a sacrifice, but also someone who's, learning through it and then showcasing through it. And he's going to inspire many, many Bengali kids coming up who wants to go, turn left rather than turn the right way of doing stuff based on their parents and stuff like that. But he's a man who's respectable to his culture, and he understands that, but he also wants to push the narrative. So I salute you, brother. You're doing phenomenal things. You're going to continue to do great things. So before anything, please share this episode. Please like this episode. Please comment. Subscribe to iTunes. Subscribe to Spotify. Subscribe to SoundCloud. I'm looking to be on Google Play pretty soon. I'm going to set the app right now, so I should be on there soon. So anybody who wants to listen to Google Play, we're going to be on there ASAP. So yeah, love to all. You know, Samir's a man who puts his money where his art is. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Art Meets Culture podcast. We put our money where our art is. Let's go. How are you anyway, man?
Perfect. You know what? It's a strange period, man. Like where we are at in like this life, I guess.
Yeah.
This whole quarantine and stuff. So honestly, I'm just trying to push forward from my current circumstance and just think better and it's like trying to have the balance between not burning myself out.
Yeah.
And, you know, taking each day as it comes. So set my goals, not kill myself if I don't achieve it, but at the same time, have that healthy balance. So it's, the good outweighs the bad. That's what I can say in a nutshell.
No, you got phenomenal mindset, which is lit. You know what I mean? So I don't think, you know, you'll probably burn yourself out. I think it's just aligning the thoughts appropriately so you can execute well. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a minute. I've been hounding you for a while.
No, you know what? I definitely appreciate the invite. Like, I know we've been talking about this since last December, I think.
Yeah.
It's just always been on my mind. I can't wait till this day comes.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah, so introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so I go by the name of Resistant. Resistant, you know, I'm a visual artist. I tend to not get a lot of people ask me why my name Resistant is. So the name, if I just quickly break it down, Resistant is a reminder. I used to see it as a statement, but it's a reminder to, you know, never let the world's problems drown us. I just see it as like a waterproof watch, you know, as the watch just goes down, there's only so much it can take. But within that, you know, gap that from the moment it goes down, it just don't let that amount of water or just life problems, just don't let it, you know, drown you. Always stay afloat. So and what I do, I'm a visual artist, you know, I use a lot of mediums, but I guess my style and what I stand for in my art is my identity. That's the key word, identity, and just that showing my perspective. Because I feel like me being Bengali, I don't know one Bengali artist like that's doing what I do. I know there's a few artists out there which I rate. It's just like there's no bar set for me like boom, I want to be like that. Or so my inspiration just comes from the furthest thing from like not even my culture. So it's just like being inspired by, you know, the hip hop culture, hip hop scene. Man, it's just there's so much to say, and I don't want to give all my answers in this question. So.
Yeah, because you know it's just one of those ones you're speaking from a passionate space, and you know, knowing you through the years, I definitely, you know, see why and how you're inspired by, you know, culture as a whole. You know, you mentioned that you're Bengali, and you know, you haven't seen anybody who looks like you or from where you're from in a scene like this. Why is that? You know, I mean, I always wonder because I know a couple of like young Bengali guys, and I always ask them like, why aren't there more creatives in the scene like you, man? Or, you know, why aren't you guys pursuing other things that, you know, that's in the mainstream? Is that, you know, an old school way of thinking that's still embedded in your culture, or how is that, you know, for you?
I'm so glad you asked this. I feel like finally once people hear this, I hope it clicks to people. So realistically, man, like I'm trying to figure out how I can thread this. In a nutshell, creatively, people like Bengali people, I know just from seeing and experience, people are just scared to take risks in terms of like, because it's that generational curse, man. Go school, get education, stick to a job for 40 years.
Yeah.
Now that job has to be, you know, one of my mentors says like, you know, he has to be a lawyer, he has to be a doctor, or he has to be a mistake. Like it's out of one of those three, isn't it? So
where did the mistake part come from?
I don't even know, but you know, it's crazy. It's a long story, but honestly, it's just I feel like personally, the Bengali people, there might be people out there that just don't, you know, we're not seeing it as such. There might be
Yeah.
people out there, but from what we can see, it's like where I'm trying to take my art, there's no blueprint, there's no, you know, like you said, people like myself doing it. And I tell you this, and this is what I say might sound off topic at times, but everything links. I promise you that. So
No, go
me,
for
when
it,
I
bro.
was young, like as a guy, you know, most of us wanted to be a football players. So that was I was like 10 years old. I made my choice that boom, I want to be a football player. This, that. I used to go train at it's like a school that had like a football academy or whatever. So
Yeah.
it was where my nan used to live, and I used to like travel there, but only when my mum would allow me. Like I would have to go with the car. This is me 10 years old, and the distance was like a 20-minute walking distance or something. So always by a car, and then I could only attend the football clubs or match training, whatever. Not consistently. So there was a point where I was good at what I was doing, and then the coach was like saying, "Sam, I need you to come." I don't know where it was, Butlins or one of those like regional events
And
where
yeah, yeah,
youngsters go
yeah, yeah.
through. And I was like, I wish I could come. I just no, my mom won't let me. And I say that to say, one of my Bengali friends, I want to put them on blast, but it's like they said I must have said something. Must have come across so passionate about football, and they said, Sam, to be honest, man, you don't see no Bengali people in the Premier League. And I swear to God, from that instant, my heart dropped. My love for football dropped. I just never watched match of the day, let alone a 90-minute.
For me, it's like when I hear that, it's like it's heartbreaking because it's just like
Definite.
I ain't like one of my guys. How do I forget his name? It's so bad. It's so bad. But some youngster that I spoke to it was years ago. That's why he was like super talented, but he always used to say, "I ain't gonna pursue this probably no more." I'm like, why? Parents and stuff like that. I'm like, it's really like there's not even a parent out there to be like, you know what, go do what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And
Not
hopefully it
even.
will change soon because, me as a Nigerian and, Nigerian African culture, it was sort of the same where it was just like, you either lawyer or a doctor. And that's that. The creative side of everything was never
It's
a
the
thing.
last thing
You know what I mean?
that
But I think it started to change over time, and it probably will change for your culture is when they start seeing the money aspect. Do you know what I
exact
mean?
100%,
I
100%.
think
Like
the
even
financial, yeah, I think the financials for them is the guarantee of okay, he's actually making money from this. Let's back him.
That's honestly, that's the social proof that's needed. It's like this is the craziest thing though. Like I'm not gonna make it as a generic thing, but if people can relate, then they can relate. But I feel like parents like my parents, they came from this era where boom, you have to get married by a certain age and raise a family. And then I don't think they had a time where they could even get to know themselves. What is it that they want to pursue? What is it that they want to, do in their life rather than just have a family for the sake of, people saying you have to have one. And then I feel like their expectations of what they couldn't achieve or what they couldn't do is just, they make it seem like everything is just like dependent. Like everything's just, it's like us, that we have to be the ones that, go through what they didn't go through in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, man. I kind of forgot what the question was.
No, it was just pretty much is just seeing, how Bangudi culture is, not open to, their range of creatives, you know what I mean? The range of artists who can probably change the game or even open out a different sort of, industry for your culture. Do you know what I mean? Because it's almost like you can say it's never been seen before. I mean, you probably have a few here and there, but anybody talking from this angle, do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, cool, we're here too. And we want our message, spoken of as well.
Facts, 100%. Like that's why I'm tapping into it. It took me such a long time because I started taking art seriously in 2013, this time around April, May. And what happened was like from there to now, it took me like 6 years just to realize what direction do I want to take, because I was creating so much different art in different styles. But me personally, I didn't feel like my style stood up because, there's two types of designers. One, when you look at a poster, you just don't know who did it, but it was a designer. But when you look at someone else, like, you know who Aaron Kite is?
Yeah.
An artist. Oh, so perfect. Cool. Yeah. When you look at his work, anywhere around the world, if you see it, boom, that's done by Aaron Kite. Yeah. And I feel like, me personally, I want to create a style. Even right now, I feel like my style might not be distinctive as such, but I know people like, Tom Fitch, shout out my bro. He says like,
Yeah,
I
shout out
have
to
it, but me personally, I don't see it. But what I do see is a thread of work, like
you.
everything, a body of work. I see, resonate, and that's what I'm satisfied with right now. And I just got to keep going. So yeah,
Yeah. No, definitely you picked a dope artist in Aaron Kai because he's just like full of color. Everything's
trust.
just like so distinctive. His storytelling's amazing in terms of how what he
Mm,
does visually. Do you know what I mean? And you as well as an artist, what I've seen over the years, it's just like you're seeing. I wouldn't even say you have like a locked style because I don't want to
mm,
limit you. I think you definitely tell stories well and you speak about what you love. Do you know what I mean? From your collection of like different films that you had in one art piece where you had the Keenan and Kel's, everything
the nice
showcased
thing.
what you
Mm,
loved. Do you know what I mean?
definitely.
So what is it about the 90s era that just inspires you as an artist? Because it's just like you resonate with that era so strongly. Do you know what I mean? And it's like something that an era that we'll never get again. Do you know what I mean? From the
Trust.
shows we had, from the way it was embracing black culture, then urban culture. What was it about that whole entire era that that draws inspiration to your art?
Can't lie. I'm so gassed you asked me this question because I never get asked these, and it's like, well, to start off, this is what I mean by why Bengali people don't pursue creative path. Or me personally, everything from the 90s era, like you mentioned, it is, yeah, I luckily have the poster right in front of me. There's nothing I can see that is outside from black culture.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, like, I want to give up my utmost respect to your culture. Like, if it wasn't for you guys,
Mm.
and even like so much into it. Like when I was in school, I was never taught about Black History Month or even Black History,
Yes.
and I had to do my own research. And I came across it on a show that Smart Guy. There
Mm.
was a moment where you know I think T.J. Henderson or his father, I forgot his real name, but on set with Floyd Henderson. So he was showing how the people like the Marcus Garvey, the Frederick Douglass,
Yeah.
although like in school I was never taught about black empowerment, never taught about this is what I love about black culture. It's like you guys are transparent about your issues, how you overcome them, what you're going through, and it's like there's nothing hidden.
Mm.
So I just I resonate with it so much. So Smart Guy just for just one of the many things that I drew on the poster. It's like that show was based on a single family household, like an African household, and it's like
Yeah,
how did
single
they
dad
come
even. I'm
across
just actually
single
clock.
dad? I mean, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
even clocking on to like the whole entire show that you remind me. It was a single
Mm.
dad, and even now we don't really get shows about
That
single dad.
empower, like,
You know what I mean? That right, the dad was actually looking after three kids
you know what I'm
and had a
saying?
genius
Like,
in his mix as well. Even like
mm,
what's that other show? One on one as well.
have I seen? I can't even. You're gonna catch me off guard on a few things. But I tell you, I say all that to say, Smart Guy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched it. I was like, what, 7 years old or something when it was showing in Disney like back in the 90s.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie. To me, it looked outdated back then. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, I can't resonate with that. I think
Yeah.
it's some
Yeah.
Cartoon Network or something. But
Mm.
then as time went by, I remember back in 2012 or realistically 2014 is when everything kicked in, and that's when I started the poster. So I came across the program, and it's like, wow, it doesn't seem outdated, but more
Mm.
importantly, I'm resonating with each episode.
Yeah.
Every episode was entertaining and had a moral behind the story, and it's just
Mm.
like, man, I was just so locked into it, and I came across so many things that I didn't watch in the 90s. Like this, gonna sound controversial, but I'll be honest, man. This is, I wish people watch the show and see it for what it is, the Cosby Show. Like
Yeah.
that right there,
Mm.
man. I can't. It
I'm
is
gonna
so much.
despite Mr. Cosby's
Mm.
nonsense at this
Let's
point
see
in
it as
time.
Cliff Huxtable. I just see it as, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out because I'm gonna do a rewatch of that because what I've done a rewatch of is like Fresh Prince is one
Mm.
that I always go to. Like I don't even know why I
That's
can't.
the go-to, bro.
Like
Trust me.
it's just despite how old it is, it's just like I'm watching it, it's just still funny to this day. Do you know what I mean?
Trust me.
And, all these things they always have a great message with
Mm.
all of them, and it's not like, oh, don't do drugs and that's that. they bring a humor to it on why you shouldn't do drugs, you know, from that Carlton episode
Facts.
when he was doing speed or whatever he was doing.
Mm.
But you know, you get those things, and those things kind of lock into your head, you know what I mean? And I think definitely TV shows are missing that these days.
It's such a like we're in this reality. What's the saying? The reality
Yeah, the reality TV world and all that
TV. That's
whatnot.
it. It's
Yeah.
just like it feeds people's microwave. It's like
Mm,
how we have that microwave music. It's only
mm,
here for a minute and gone. Like that's why I showed that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, smart guy. What else can I see? Saved by the Bell, if anything. A lot of the 90s shows are timeless pieces that you can watch now and it still feels good. Like I'm right now, this is more in the 2000s, but
mm.
show that my wife and kids like I still crack up to, you know, the jokes that said, and it's comforting, and it's just like I don't know, there's some element into it, like you said, that is just not gonna be, you can't rub it away, like you
Nah,
can't take it away.
you can't, man. Those are iconic shows, and you know, there's like Instagram pages dedicated to
Trust
the
me,
90s
no.
era, and it's just like, yo, this is the era that I'm so grateful that I've lived through. Do you know what I mean? Because
Mm,
this era now is cool and all digital age and stuff like that, but
mm.
the, right now, like this lockdown is feeling cool to the 90s kids or the people who grew up on the 90s,
Yeah, I
because it's like
swear.
we just sat at home, came home from school and started watching these shows and just getting entertained, creatively engaged. You know what I mean? Like it was just lit, man. It was just lit. So you know, we're grateful to, like, you know, see that time.
Definitely, like I see people on Instagram live that's literally just playing their Nintendos. I'm like, right, I don't have one, but I get the itch for that nostalgia.
Yeah, and I love it, man. And it's like, you know, it's great to see that, you know, you're showcasing or paying homage rather,
Mm,
to it, you know, through your work. And you know, anybody who can draw something um nostalgic but also make it feel current, you know, I completely love. So you know, good on you for that one, bro.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
think I didn't like just tap into the reason why I created it. Like at
Mm.
first when I created the 90s kids poster, I kind of felt like, right, what are people gonna like? But then some part of me told me like, nah, what do I like? What did I
Yeah.
grow up? So the initial 90s kid, and I've already started on the not early, but as in the 2000s era poster. It's like,
Mm.
what can I resonate with? And then the project
Yeah.
title I'm working on is I grew up like. So when people see
Mm.
everything, everything's gonna make sense.
Mm. Well, what's great about that is because you've tapped into yourself and known what you like, you got to understand. We didn't have, like, you know, Instagram to tell us, oh, Fresh Prince is here, or there's trailer for this or trailer for that. It was like you knew or you didn't know. So the fact that, you know, you can just put a title on there like a Keenan and Kel or a Fresh Prince, and you put it on paper, you know, so many people are going to resonate with that because it impacted so many lives. And we weren't even told to watch these things. You know what I mean? We took the shows in, you know, and brought it to our homes. You know, they became our extended family members, all these shows.
100%. That's what it is. Like there's something Tupac said, and I kind of like it just hit home, man. Like for me, being from a single mother family, it's like single parent family. It's like Tupac said he used to, like when he was a kid, he would watch these family shows all because he just wanted to feel that
Mm,
void, just to feel
yeah.
that void of not having a family. But so when he would watch it, he would have that same excitement, that same feeling of having a full family, and it's
Mm,
just people around the world can resonate with, you know,
yeah.
that.
Oh, 100%. Also, you did I see a collection that you know, you did back then, that featured, you know, your Skeps, Wileys, Tiny's, Dizzy's, and
Oh
Wretch.
yeah.
Um, you know, what, and you did it all in pencil, you know, why that medium, you know, why these artists, like what kicked that off for you?
If I can remember as early, so initially, even then, I created that piece, Tiny Temper 2013, like I
Mm.
think just around November times. I, you know, Kelvin Okafor,
Kelvin?
the super realist, hyper realist artist. He drew Naomi Campbell as of
Yes,
recent.
yes.
Like,
You know, these dons who do these pencil drawings that just look like so, like, mate, it's like they'll be sketching just to get certain shades. Because I was gonna make him artist of the day once. That's why I just reminded of him. But yeah, it's just mad. It's crazy, bro. So crazy.
he's definitely someone that set the bar high. Like I don't
Mm,
know who came before him, but he's definitely. But just to touch up on the point, it's a. So I always, even when I started early, I always made sure I had the concepts on my art. So the concept for having these artists, I remember this is like something Wiley said back in. You remember when we had Ustream
yeah.
on Twitter? Wiley was so upset. He like UK wasn't collaborating. There was only like one person can be like number one. They can only there was only like a limited amount. Whereas you see these days, music, every person from every area is hitting the charts, number one, top 10 at least every
Yeah.
other week. And
Mm,
it's just like Wiley was so upset. He said, "Man, if I'll go to my grave upset if I don't see, the likes of Devlin. Why can't Devlin, make a feature with Phaser? Why can't, Tinchy make a track with Skepta?" And he was just
yeah.
going on and on. He was just upset. And I thought, the initial, so if you remember how the artists were just standing, obviously I didn't like, at their bottom body.
Mm,
So it was just, the initial concept was, the title was called A Room with No Egos. So
mm,
it's just like everyone can stand with each other. They have their own accomplishments. They don't have to, hate on the next one. Like
mm,
each one of them is individually, unique, and they bring something to the table. So that was the concept of that. And just why I chose the medium, definitely inspired by, I wanted to challenge myself because I think I was just so working on abstract at the time. So I thought, let me do pencil. I love portraits,
yeah.
and I think pencil is just it's the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the go-to. It's like it was just something. Maybe even to this day, I just thought I can't see myself using something else
Mm,
for using that message. That message was bold. So if I did it on a marker pen, I don't know. It just something in me that just said, it's just gonna be best if I use pencil.
yeah. And I like that, I mean, a lot of people love the color here and there to express that, but there's something,
Mm,
you can do in with pencil, like a black and white image can just it gives off its own emotion
mm.
only, you know what I mean? And everything else, the colors are made up in your head. You can actually just see whatever you can make it up on, you know what I mean? So great medium, that you chose in terms of like texture to use, which is pencil.
That's an amazing point that you actually brought up. Like
Mm,
we as artists, we see something differently. Like we perceive stuff, like you said, with colors or just stories. We do all of that internally, and then
mm.
externally, how we um, put it out is just, yeah, like you mentioned, it's like we hope that the message comes across how we're feeling through that medium.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, so years roll on, I mean, and then, we cross paths and then, you
Mm.
come on Art Meets Music and you showcase some phenomenal pieces. You know what I mean? How, what was your experience like, coming off Instagram and actually, getting people to see the work in person, with an audience?
I just felt like me personally, like it was just a long time waiting. Like I just didn't know who to reach out to.
Mm.
I knew like I put it like this, like I remember seeing Chris Brown have like exhibitions and I thought you just had to be someone that's known that can only have exhibitions.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, I've got to wait a couple more decades for that then. But when it's one thing, getting a reaction from people over Instagram or just social media itself. But then when you're outside in the real world and people
Yeah.
come tell you like, wow, like I had people tell me like they resonated with the 90s poster,
Mm.
amazing on like the Tiny Temple pieces and stuff. And it's just, it felt good, yes, getting compliments, but more so it just deep inside as an artist, you think, wow, people
Yeah.
can not only just resonate, like a talent, like there's a difference between having a talent and a purpose.
Mm.
I just came up with that right now. There's a different, like me personally, I don't even think that I'm talented. I just say that to say what why people might say I'm talented is because I let the enthusiasm and just the all right, cool, just the enthusiasm as itself, I let that override, my failures. Because when I start art piece, I tell you this, even when I was young, it would take me 7 attempts just to get started for it to get good.
Mm.
So that's the side people don't see. So it's just like seeing people in exhibitions, just that energy, like you tend to find even more so like you have more in common with people and you just grow a network of people that
Yeah.
you stay in touch with, and you never know who might be able to help,
Oh, for
one
sure.
another.
For sure, for sure. You know, it's even fantastic to have you on the platform, you know, that you've showcased this, you know, and been able to connect with phenomenal artists, you know, and being a part of a growing scene. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's like enabled you to do more stuff. Do you know what I mean? Even pushing onto your solo exhibition that you did. I even forgot that place.
Same place. No, no, bro. This is the same place that where I got inspired for a whole project that you had your art meets music. I can't remember who the artist. I think it was Funny Tummy
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
had
We
his
did. Yeah, we
solo
yeah we did the solo. Literally trying to remember that venue.
Republic Gallery. That's
Yeah,
what it was
that's it.
called.
It was Republic Gallery, phenomenal space.
Near my ends, and I was
Um,
just like, yeah, sorry, cut you off. Sorry, carry on.
no, no, it's cool. It's like, yeah, it's just like, you know, you came down and, you know, for us, that was like a big move because, you know, it was funny. Tommy, you know, we know him and his impact in the scene and the culture.
Mm.
You know, we were blessed enough to do a solo exhibition for him. Do you know what I mean? But it was an opportunity for, you know, artists like yourselves even to come down and just seeing what it is. Because he, you know, did his stuff on like Akira and all that anime stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
definitely 100%, you know, probably your mind was thinking, instead of the Akira video, that could be some 90s montage there, or it could have been, you know, all that stuff there. So I definitely can see, you know, how your mind worked for that. You know what I mean? And, you know, it led to your solo exhibition. How was that for you? Do you know what I mean? Putting, you know, getting to showcase your collection and your art.
The whole process was amazing. It was a trial and error process, to be honest. It was
Mm.
just like initially I was inspired to create a community project that I'm working on, which is called We Grew Up In. You've definitely seen it about, you know, the
The video you did with,
Bengali. Yeah,
yeah, the video you
the
did with the
two
younger
younger.
self and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly
amazing.
that. And even
Yeah,
like the drawings, there was like, if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see where there's like guys in
yeah.
different eras, but
Hmm.
more so, yeah, just I never thought I'd do certain things by myself, like pitch a exhibition idea proposal. I never knew these words existed. Like I didn't know where it was. So I
Yeah,
found myself reaching out to, you know, the people in charge. I can't even remember what the title is, but you know, shout out to them for allowing me to, you know, exhibit. And then
yeah,
more so the era in like, all right, cool, let me give the good before the bad. So the good thing is, yes, I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to exhibit my work. And you know, at the time, you know, when you have your first thing, you know this as a host, like you know this
mm,
as like a curator, you know you're gonna have an expectation of how many people come through, you know, Eventbrite.
yeah.
And then the
That's the
turnout
anxiety.
sometimes,
Yeah, that's the anxiety point.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I had to wear like three hats as an artist, as an expector of like a curator, and then
Yep.
but I definitely had help from, you know, left, right, and center.
Mm.
But I say that to say, you know, my expectations of how many people got the tickets but never showed up, that kind of hit me. Like I couldn't get that off my mind whilst at being at the exhibition. And then I had an elder from, you know, the estate that told me, Sam, even if you had one person come through, that's
Hmm.
a success.
Bro,
And
I'm
I just
telling
thought,
you, and it's like those things, those are the sort of pills you swallow through at each
mm,
event where it's just like, raw, like so many people registered, but only so many people showed up. Like to me, every event that I've done is a success. And
definitely.
the reason why my mindset is on that is because we did the plan, we pushed, and we learned from it. So it's a success. Do you know what I mean? So you even doing it and having 20 plus people, to me, that's success in itself. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, maybe obviously we want the best things. And I think that's a testament to your ambition that you want loads of people feeling your
Mm,
shit. Do you know what I mean? And when it doesn't happen the way your mind is saying, it may feel a little bit disheartening. But I think what you've done is you've executed something well, especially wearing several hats. So you've done that real well as an artist.
appreciate it, man, so
Mm.
much. Like sometimes like me being myself, like I'm so harsh on myself for not achieving X, Y, and Z. But
Mm.
there's so much pressures outside of art, like just the real life, real world stuff.
Mm.
And yeah, man, it's amazing. It just builds you as there's a saying by like the friends that I have these days. We have a saying where like every yes, you know, is like amazing, but every no that you get builds you as a character. So
Oh, for sure.
it's, you know what I'm
For
saying? Like
sure.
that's every aspect of the world people can
Mm.
take.
100%. And I think, you know, I think the nose make you Teflon. Do you know what I mean? The nose
Facts.
gives you that strength within because it's just like Imagine just hearing yes all the time. It's like, what, what are you not building me towards? You know what I mean? So to hear the no's makes you step up even harder and put you in a mental position where you're just like, you know what? I have to know this. I have to know how to run an event. I have to know how to promote. And you've acquired these skills. So now you've enabled yourself to become a creator, do you know what I mean, for your next shows. And you know exactly what you're going to do next. But then after that, when you're looking for people to assist you, you definitely know exactly what you need and what and how you need it. Do you know what I mean?
100%. It goes back to something I watched from Nipsey Hussle. It's like when he was recording in his early stages of, I think, dropping mixtapes, he was like, the word self-sufficient was just so much tapped into his mind that he couldn't rely on the next man to,
Yeah.
engineer his music. So it's like he had to know that skill set. So when that engineer or an engineer wasn't available, what was he going to do? Just wait. So it's like you have to know to do these things. It's not that sad. It's an amazing feeling when you accomplish it, and the process as well. It's just sometimes you expect to have a team.
Yeah.
Because that's all we see, all that we've seen growing up. Superstars having entourages working for them, and it's just like, this is the era where you see J. Cole, even the likes of J. Cole, there's people, creatives out there that don't even tell you, but they mix, master, record, do the artwork themselves. And I have to shout out Manga from,
Salute.
Saint Hilaire. He's definitely someone that shows me, like, I could never tell he does his own artwork. I think engineers his own songs as well, but it's definitely like inspiring to see.
Yeah, no, phenomenal. And I think that's like a phenomenal statement that you just made. There's loads of creatives who do every single thing themselves. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. I think the saying "jack of all trades, master of none" has fucked with people a little bit, because it's like, right, if I do everything, I'm a jack of all trades. But we're in an era where we can do a lot. Do you know what I mean? And execute a lot. Like, I do this podcast, edit, put out. Yes, I used to do the artwork myself, but I was like, I want something different. So, I partnered with one of my friends, one of my best friends, to do that. Same thing with the shows, social media, promotion. I'm at the point where I might even host it myself one day. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, knowing that you can do all these things just based on the tools that we have, the technology that we have, it's kind of made room for no excuses. Do you know what I mean? So when we sometimes take a step back and say, oh, I need help, I can't do this because I need this person, that person, it's like everything's there and it's free. Do you know what I mean?
In the words of Gary V, like Google, like
Well,
literally.
I'm dead ass. It's a Google thing, you know what I mean? Like Photoshop, it's £10 a
Trust
month.
me.
They're selling it to you £10 a month. Social media, Instagram is £10 a month. Everything's underpriced. All these things. So salute to everybody who's actually doing that, because there's a clear awareness of, I can actually do this shit myself and do it well. But there is going to be a point when you're trying to really level up to that next stage where you're going to start picking people for teams and everything like that. But as of right now, as everybody pushing for themselves and by themselves, I think you don't require anyone. You don't require too many people, to be fair.
Trust, like, even I have to give it up to that point where you just said, like, prior to getting to that level of, you need people, man, like, milk it for what it's worth. Like, if it wasn't for you, first of all, I wouldn't know who Gary Vee was. But I see so
Me?
much. Honestly, like, I remember back in 2014-ish times or 15, I remember you tweeting something, and I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Gary Vee was this cocky guy that I couldn't resonate with, man. Like, honestly, this is the beauty of, social media. It's like, we perceive stuff, we prejudge people, but when we get to know them, it's like, man, there's so much I can learn from this person, and the value that he gives for free, man. He said it himself, like, I'd rather have more people at my funeral than people clap for me, whatever. And it's just like, what do we stand for? And it's an amazing era to live in, man, to be able to accomplish stuff, like you said, by ourselves. And just, there will be a time where, God prepares us for, it's better to be ready for something than get everything and then you're not ready for it. So
no, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Well, what challenges have you like faced, like building your art career and everything like that?
I feel like, me personally, it's gonna sound so like people, I'm not the one to be able to keep a job. Like, I find it so hard to stick to a job. Like, university, I say my life began after university. So whilst in university, yes, I accomplished stuff like, which I set out myself to do, pitching a music video idea to August Alsina, like by myself. Yes, I
Oh, yeah,
tried
you
getting
met him
help.
as well, innit?
Yeah. This was
Yeah.
whilst being in university, but just being able to, pitch a music video idea to him in person, it's like 6 months. It took me 6 months. And once again, I was doing stuff, every like creative aspect was by myself. I had connections to him through his UK people and made connections with his friends over in America, but more so just that it took me 6 months just to create. So I didn't even know what a music video treatment was. I just created a storyboard and had words, to go with the storyboard. And it's like, I worked 6 months just to get a 2-minute pitch. So I thought I was going to be, in a conference room, being able to speak to him from one end to another, but turned out, I'm in Coco in a narrow staircase, his security guards there with the torchlight, and anything can kick off, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then I'm going through the storyboard, and it's a bittersweet story. So I don't want to even get into too much because it's personal to his side, but he didn't like the aspect that I was coming from, and I fully understand why. And it's just like, man, now because I have to be very careful with what I say. So his music is very, if this day and age, everyone is vulnerable and everyone is transparent, but I'll be honest, like, he is the one that really kicked it off. Like, he even says it, like, how open do I want to be in my music? Because the more open I am, people can use it against me or whatever the case was. And it's just like, I think what I did kind of backfired on him, because his music and his, story is based on how he grew up. And a part of it was, losing his brother. And there's a song called Other Side. And in a nutshell, it's just like, I hope I see you on the other side. And I kind of recreated, it's such a touchy, it had to do with his brother. So initially, all I did was visually come up with the words.
Yeah.
Without getting into too graphic. Like, I had metaphors for the graphics.
Yeah.
Graphic scene where it got a little, and that's where I realized, man, I can't, just, act like I know. So he mentioned, like, when we were in person, he said, like, I hate it when people are evasive. I didn't even know what the word was. And it's like, oh, like, it's a private life. As much as he's given it in his personal life, I think it's up to him to decide to want to, lay it out or not. But he did take the storyboard with him. And the, biggest achievement, if anything, I had from that was, at the end, he said, he took it from me. And then he was like, you know what, if I like the video, F it, we just go shoot it. And I was like, man, that accomplishment was so sick. And I felt like we shot the video already, but I never heard back from him. But honestly, it's like, he is going through so much in his life that it's
because he was on the Red Table Talk as well. I think he's just, someone who's really, gone through the motions and, gone through, the trauma of his brother, obviously looking after his nieces as well.
And
go for it.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So he lost his sister-in-law as well. So the wife to his brother. And he's just like, I don't understand. I'm a Muslim, but he has so much faith in God that is so unfathomable to me. Like, how is it that you have so much strength? And it's just, again, like what you were raised on, like the standards, the morals, the principles. And I didn't know, first time I met him, I didn't know who he was. I was like, man, I ain't got time to draw 3 people, but something gut instinct said, what have I got to lose? So I did it. I met him in person, exchanged the drawing, and then went back home and I done my research. And it's like, man, he comes from a single parent home. He said it like himself, like, this is where creatives can resonate. He said, I didn't grow up in a dynasty. I don't have, like, my father didn't, leave something for me in order for me to pursue. I'm 21 years old. I'm trying to figure this life out myself. So I have to stick into what I just say right now. So the drawing point from where he is in versus where I am, like, for them, touching the roads is, the first instinct.
Yeah.
And for me, I can't say that, although, coming from where I come from, everyone knows someone that sells drugs, or it can just be, first degree of contact. But I have, what was I was seeing as DJ wore a hood called, Never Sold Dope. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. Oh, sorry. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And Ever
Mm.
since then, I kind of took that as a pride where, for me, like to tap into what I said earlier about not being able to stick to jobs, it's like when I left university, I had the assumption and the intention of, you know, how any profession people, when people come out of university, the doctors, the engineers, they can only see, you know, I'm getting into my of that profession job.
Yeah.
And life did a 180 on me. You know, after university, I found myself 2 days after, you know, working in the subway. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And I hear customers, you know, arguing like, yo, I'm trying to make your sandwich, like,
Yeah.
have some decency to, you know. And it was like my first day. I left within like the first week. I couldn't take it. And
Mm.
then honestly, just 14 jobs off, like since university 2016 till now, just worked like 14 jobs. Some people is like get over it, other people is like wow. And I just, when I go to jobs, I'm mentally drained afterwards. It's like I never, yes, you know, Gary Vee is the first person to say you have 64 hours in a week. And it's just
Mm.
like, but me personally, I needed that. I'm so, my inspiration of the people like Chris Brown. When I remember seeing Chris Brown on a Ustream, and this is something I want to get to, that epitome level where I saw him, you know, paint in his living room wall over and over again. One painting's
Yeah.
done. He had the luxury to paint over it again and do another one, another one. And the crib that he was living in was amazing. But more so, I saw it as like he never looked stressed. He never looked like he had to worry about the bills. He just could focus on his passion. And I
Mm.
just kept focusing on that as the epitome. I want to get to that. And I felt like all these jobs, even for me, you would think, me being an artist, you know, me being an illustrator, you'd think the illustration agencies, the art world would embrace me. Like they would embrace me with open arms. All I was getting no's, no's, no's. And I was getting into, you know, offices uninvited. I'm like, no, you're gonna get to know me. All these what do you call it? The HR people, everyone I
Yeah.
tried to get in contact with. And it's just like I'm getting so much no's that I realize, you know, I, it took me a long while to realize. I feel like God's telling me, man, look, I created you a own path. Like you
Mm.
are gonna tell your story rather than working for someone and build their story and build their empire. And
Yeah.
it's bittersweet, and more so just this is the key thing that I realized. Like we were never taught this in school. I might, you know, not like the thought of working, but who used to say like, oh, we need money to survive, and it's just I'm so fortunate and thankful enough to, you know. Have you heard of like what's it called? Because I know you read. Have you heard of the
Mm.
book called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah. Got that on my shelf right now.
That's it, bro. Like honestly, when I even just heard that, or even heard about the 4 week cash flow, and it's that just opened my eyes just to know like my, yes, I need something stable, but the overall concept of like, yo, there's 4 ways of making money. How do I become an investor? How do I become a business
Mm.
owner? So I can, you know, being a business owner, you know, creating systems, you know, standing for what, like saving myself serious energy, time, and money to be able to work on my passions. Like that's where my mind is at right now. And it's just, I'm gonna get there. It's just, you know, everything that I tap into is a skill set. So it may take longer than another skill set, but
Yeah.
hopefully I didn't, you know,
No, no, I
overstep.
definitely caught a lot of your points, I mean, even grabbing from it, starting from the challenges from the August Alsina situation and
Mm,
really and truly understanding his story.
yeah.
You showing homage that love what he's doing, loved his music, but he also gave you a layer to him that maybe no other artists who meet artists will never get. Do you know what I mean? He said, look, this is me, this is why I do what I do. This is why I go for what I go through and why I don't reveal what I reveal. And you got that. You got that
Yeah.
moment. Do you know what I mean? So that's even sick that you got that emotion out of him. And through that, you overcame, you did something different that made you understand how to storytell more efficiently. Um,
Facts.
and with work, getting into a job, and I've been there, trust me, of
Mm.
working somewhere where I'm just like, I ain't fucking doing, sorry for swearing, I know what's going on right now, Ramadan, that I ain't going uh through this whole situation and just working in front of people, getting people insulting me or being rude, and that thing can trigger you off because your deep purpose of, I want to change the world through
That's
my
it.
art. And I think that is the burning desire that any creative goes through whilst working as a waiter, working in retail. These are the things that trigger you. Do you know what I mean? Because
Facts.
you're in these spaces. But when you get to a stage of maturity, over time, you then realize, even from the books that we're reading, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know
Mm,
what I mean, understanding levels of income and everything, we then realize, okay, cool, this is just one line of income that we just have to do for now because it pays our reality. So because
facts.
it's paying our reality currently, we're just going to keep doing that, but we have to put in more hours into our passion. And once
Mm.
we do that, then that replaces the job, and then we start looking at other streams of income to actually, push us to that millionaire role. So definitely, I get it as a whole, 360, by just hearing exactly what you're saying and what you're going through.
No, 100% definitely agree with what you just said. Like being able to, financially be in a place to, pay the bills and everything. It's definitely, it's, I feel like I look up to the people like Steve Harvey. I don't know why I take people's advice. I can resonate with them because I know where it's, I don't want to even get too deep into it, but you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to go over the, let's just carry
Bro,
on.
listen, go for it, bro. This is the expression.
Nah,
Expressions podcast is that we're your artists, we're all artists in our own right, where we just have to express and truly just say who inspires us, and who we take to push us to that next level.
definite, man. Like, I remember like Steve Harvey, like he's someone that I definitely just like take so much advice from.
Mhm.
And there's something that he went through, and it just, I didn't take the advice back then. I'm not even taking it, but I resonate with. I remember he quit his job because he made $50 from his first stand-up comedy show.
Mhm.
Everyone looked at him insane. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Quitting your job just because you made $50. And he was in tears saying, you don't understand, man. I found my purpose. I'm going to get to my destiny.
Yeah.
And I feel like him being transparent now, it shows people, all right, cool. There's a period of time I didn't tell you guys what I went through. He said he was homeless for 3 years. He said, um, having to go for 2 marriages and just like losing it all. And
Right.
then there's a saying, man, like rock bottom teaches you more than money or any like
Mm-hmm. Or
possession ever could. Like, so
exactly.
I thought me going back to what I said about working 14 jobs, it's like each one of the jobs definitely taught me something, and it's like it's just tapping into ourselves. We're knowing, all right, cool. How can I make? Because I know me personally, I'll be real. As much as I'm passionate with my art, I just don't find the, because I know people come across tell me, man, I love your art, this, that. And at exhibitions, I'm here selling my art. And bro, when I tell you I'm trying to sell a poster for £5, everyone looks at me like, whoa, that's a bit pricey, ain't it? I'm like, what? Like, yo, £5 for like I I don't undersell myself to a point where I just want people to have the art and it's affordable. I'm talking about the 90s kid poster, bro, A3 size or A4 size. I try selling it for £5.
Mm.
I've made my fair share, but for the most part, now art is definitely not something I can, see sustainable. But at the same time, it's definitely, I'm what just was I can't make money from it. Am I gonna stop doing it? No, I just have to find other ways of making money, and that's where I feel like this part of my life where I'm at, and every single thing is a purpose. Every single cry, every single tear that I dropped for
Mm.
that deep prayer for me to be able to connect to God and tell Him, look, this is how I'm feeling, man. I need X, Y, and Z and working out, but here's the end goal.
Mm.
How do I get there? And the
Mm.
best thing about all these people that the Steve Harveys, the Bob Proctors, the Gary Vee, they say you don't worry about the how. It's just know that you can get there. And there's so much I'm realizing about, I'm not even the type to read, but just the people I'm surrounded by these days, emotional intelligence. I remember when we started this podcast today, the first thing you said about mindset, how I can control you about.
Mm.
Honestly, if this was this time last year, I'll probably be insane. Like
Mm.
everything that's going on, outside of social media in my life, I wouldn't know how to handle it. But it's just what I'm going through, and just to be able to identify the issues, find the root problem, find solutions, never giving up, staying persistent, clarity, knowing what you want and why you want it, and kill doubt.
Yeah, no, 100% facts. And it's definitely where was the point? I just literally had it. You know, it's like I literally had it, but then someone was playing Chris Brown in the background. I was like, this ain't, and it's ironic that we were talking about Chris Brown and someone was playing Chris in the back. But yeah, going back to the motivational aspect, you know, I think definitely you've looked at your whys more than anything on why you actually do this. Because, you
Mm,
know, a lot of people don't know why they actually do art. They just do it because, you know, oh, it's going to make me a little bit of money here or this and that. But when your why is like passionate and greater than money, I think that's phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? As to, you know, you selling your artwork at 5, I think, bro, you'd go a little bit higher
I
in
know, like, you know what I'm saying?
terms of
It's
looking
just,
at just where you see your art at. Do you know what I mean? I would easily look at that piece and be like, I'm gonna charge people £40 for that, and just
you know what
look
I'm
them
saying?
dead in the eye, £40, because you know that's your work, that's your time, and everything like that. There's no point. Obviously, we're trying to make art affordable,
Yeah,
but there's, you gotta have that same mindset of let me just price point it at a price where it's just like, yo, I've got costs to cover, and this is what I believe this piece is worth. Do you know what I mean? We're not saying,
facts.
oh, go sell it at 2 grand and be a bit wild, but that's if
Mm,
you've got the fan base to actually afford it at 2 grand. But trust me, people can fork out £40. I'd say that
trust
for
me.
free. And if you say £40 and just make this very limited, I think that's very phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? But I think you gotta. I'm gonna DM you some books
Definitely, bro.
that will help just trigger some awareness in terms of sales. You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
I don't think you should be selling your stuff at £5. This is just me just give you that. Like,
trust me.
don't
Like,
do £5
it,
like
wa-
at all.
it definitely, definitely. It was only at a period where I was definitely working at the time,
Mm,
or like, so it was just like an extra income that I wanted to get.
mm,
But even then, like, yeah, £5 is just like people spend it on a Starbucks coffee. Like, it's definitely it's there's no issue people don't want to, but just
mm.
there's something that I want to tap into where yes, this is what I was gonna say. You know how we were talking about of person being of many hats.
Yeah,
I was so tapped into being an artist. Like I said, watching Chris Brown do the way he does what he does and
yeah.
living that abundance life. But he had music to cover.
Mm.
He had how many streams of income did he have that I'm aware of? Like,
That,
as a musician, bro, like you're getting residual income left, right, and center, merchandise, singles, album, shows, PAs.
mm.
So he was in that blessed place to, do that. But all I cared about, I just saw Chris Brown being passionate and I
Yeah,
transferred that energy into what I'm doing. So
yeah.
passionate what I do, but I never had that business mindset. I never I feel like there's no real, the trial and errors teach you more than what schools can do.
Mm.
Like, I'm so happy to, like I said, like, everything's going to make sense for me throughout. Like, it's just, yeah, man, just how, this is another thing where, like, if you ask me who do I look up to in terms of now, like when
Mm.
it comes to my brand and business and stuff, art wise, it's like, man, it is so unfortunate that it takes someone's death to realize what they were, like their value. So Nipsey Hussle, I remember listening
Yeah.
to one of his first songs, Rose KK, like back in 2013.
Mm.
It stood out to me, but I never followed along. I could never sit here and say man, I've been a fan of Nipsey Hussle. But it came to a point where in 2018 I came across one of his interviews and I was so tapped into the mindset that he had about, like, doing X, Y, and Z by himself, having that business mindset as well as his vision. Like, when I tell you this, man, like, even when it comes to the Martin Luther Kings, people are buying into what you do. Like, people,
Mm.
as much as they love the physical aspect, more so, people buy into what you believe,
Yeah.
and
And,
that's
and,
just
and a quote that you just when you even saying that statement, I can't remember where the quote's from, but
mm,
it's something that I've always understood clear. People buy into you before they buy into what you do. If they
exactly
don't buy into you, we ain't buying into what you do. And those are
facts.
the key aspects in terms of growth. But what I mean, I've known you for a minute, and what I'm seeing and also hearing is the growth in understanding how you want to better yourself as an overall man and an overall businessman and as an artist as well, because you
100%.
need key aspects in order to execute at another level. Do you know what I mean? And I
Mm,
think you taking your time Because I always wonder, it's like, oh, how come I ain't putting out much work? What's going on? What's going on? But I
Mm,
think you've taken a step back to understand, look, I want to take this thing serious and I actually want to, make a living out of this. So I've got to take a step back and actually start learning. Do you know what I mean? Because I
facts.
can run and draw all my life, but I need to know how to execute this thing much better. And you should applaud yourself like heavily for that, because not many people would do that. People would want to run into gimmicks and do stuff for the gram and run being viral, but you take a step back and actually educate yourself efficiently. Do you know what I mean? And I take that very serious. You know what I mean? And I take
Mm.
anybody serious who actually does that. So to applaud yourself on that one, because that's phenomenal.
I appreciate it, man. Definitely. Like it's like I said, I'm harsh on myself, so I don't see that side. But on the flip side, though, I definitely have to say this: all the jobs, the 14 jobs that I had,
Mm,
each one of them, I remember being a street fundraiser.
mm,
Like I had no like these jobs that I get into, I don't really have a choice other than damn, I need a job, I need to make money.
yeah.
So that job was like, it was like scorching weather. I had to have an umbrella in this heat, and it's just crazy why I'm doing what I'm doing, just asking people X, Y, and Z. But the key thing that I took out from that job was the manager said, "Sam, I appreciate your hard work, but you do not work effectively."
Was
It
it
did
was it
not.
those guys where you had to, if you don't get the sale, you don't get commission, or is it commission based only?
Now this one wasn't commission based. It was
Okay.
like a flat rate.
Oh,
I
because
don't. Yeah, I
I've,
don't even
I've
know
done one
promo
that
it.
I've sorry to cut you. I've done one where they've just never given you a flat rate. They said if you don't get the commission, you don't get paid. So
Yeah. So it's cut you off one.
yeah, at least you got paid on a flat rate basis.
Yeah, nah, man, I definitely know the feeling because I think I tapped into one of those ones that you were on. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but this one was like a knock on people's door thing. And I swear, I'm out here in neighborhoods, like going to, like, I didn't even get the job because I declined it, but
Mm.
it just showed me like when people are working. I met someone and it's crazy. He said the love for money someone can have, like, but I don't know. I just found it so uncomfortable. Like, right, you'd I don't even have to word it, but it did not like align with my morals or integrity of how I
Yeah.
stand.
No, 100%. Because it's like you see companies who, or you meet companies that are just, so we have to get target, we have to get target, we have to make this,
Uh,
we have to make that, and because your spirit's not driven by the money aspect. Obviously, you want to make money to feed your reality, but
of course.
if it screws with your morals and it screws with the fact that I'm not about this, so I'm not going to put that 100% effort, because you lot are driven by money, not by a purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you were working at Apple, for instance, in the early stages, you know what their purpose was. Their purpose was to change the perception of computers and creativity. And they did that well. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just, if you're aligned with a company with a clear vision and a clear ethos, that will take it further. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I have to tap into what I like. I have to back what I just said. So
Mm.
for the viewers, I want to give a visual aid of what I'm saying when it comes to like I don't know if I may come across that I don't like making money or from these jobs, but initially I said, what did I say? The moral is what they stand for. I'll be honest, one of my jobs, working at Foot Asylum, bro.
Yeah,
What I'm
best jobs,
saying,
bro.
when you're, bro, I worked in Wingstop. Like, there's bare places I work. Like,
Yeah.
Wingstop, yeah, would have gave me the cholesterol because they're making me eat chicken at
Listen, them
ghost
Liverpool
hours.
wings. Oh my
It's
god.
banging though. And I was like, man, I'm trying to live a long life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm.
But honestly, yeah, the Foot Asylum. So what I tend to find their position to be was like, I don't think it's so. Yeah, it is going to be overall. They just made me sell Prep Protect, man, and I never understood it.
Yeah.
But then when I'm realizing, like, okay, so I'm hearing, little snippet news of like, all right, cool. So if you sell Prep Protect, the bonuses goes to the manager.
Yeah, as
Now,
usual.
you know what? I have to be very careful, because it's like a company thing. But honestly, just if that's what the case was, I personally, at the time, I didn't care if I sold Crep Protect or not, just because I knew what the morals were. So
Mm.
you want me to sell Crep Protect just so you can get a bonus? Nah, I ain't really on that. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what I mean by when it came to like morals and stuff. I just certain places I knew just didn't align with me.
Yeah, and you know what? It's again, it's another testament to you. You're not prepared to sell your soul um with anybody. Do you know what I mean? And I back to your point where you say, you don't want people to think that you don't like money. I think
Mm,
you're aware of money and what it could do for you on a freedom basis, but you're also aware that, look, I'm not going to do nothing that's just compromising my integrity all the time, because for me, I have one life to live and I have to do
mm,
it with purpose. And I choose that every time. Do you know what I mean? And some people won't choose that. Do you know what I mean? And you're a man of integrity, but you haven't compromised. You've now probably positioned yourself in a new position where, okay, cool, I'm making money like this because of that. I'm doing art
facts.
because of this, and I'm living my life like this. And
That's it, man.
for you, that's your personal growth. That is your journey. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
Zero. No one can take that away from you. Not a soul, bro. So, you're doing your thing.
definitely, man. That's all we can do. Like literally, just being aware of what we want. Like this is not even like, yeah, for all the creatives out there, just finding it hard to tap into the root. It's just you gotta know what you want, why you want it most. You know, importantly, because the why used to confuse me a lot. I used to tend to find I wrote on a piece of paper what my why was, to retire my mom, to build generational wealth, all
Mm,
this. Then I realized, wait a minute, like on a 9 to 5, it's going to be pretty hard to build generational wealth. But
mm,
even on a art basis, it's like, what is my why? Why am I doing it? Am I just doing it just so for it to look good? But initially, my why, I think when Will Smith said it, that's when it clicked in. Your why has to be greater than you. It has to be
mm,
greater than your family. Will
100%.
Smith's why was, he wants, it's from his film Collateral Damage. He said his why is to make sure he left the world better than he found it, or something like that. And it's
Mm,
just that when you see that on a daily basis, you can't give up. You're gonna have to, roll 10 times stronger.
mm.
And yeah, like it's a process, man. You can't skip. Like Gary Vee, all the greats say it, man. Like nothing's gonna happen overnight. You
Nope.
have to imagine living a life of just highs, 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 highs. Like it's just, what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Like
Mm,
there's so much character that is built through struggles, through adversities, and it's the two blessings is, one, you get to live through it, and the
mm,
number two one is, you get to share your story with people that are going through,
mm,
situation that they think they can't overcome. So
mm.
yeah.
No, I'm loving this conversation because, obviously, we're trying to pinpoint it to art as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
what we're doing is understanding the mindset of everything. And it's like a lot of the people who give me feedback always talk about the mindset. It's motivational.
mm,
How we think as artists and everything, like, because you find the mellow artists, you find the artists who, you know, maybe just do it for clout, and stuff like that. But now we're finding out, what is the motivation behind what you do, because again, mindset is everything. And I'm a big believer on mindset and how you operate with yourself, for every stage of your life. Do you know what I mean?
definitely.
Looking at the likes of people should, whoever don't know already, is that they know I'm Jordan obsessed and Kobe Bryant obsessed,
You know what I'm saying?
because I'm just like, yo, that it's almost like a killer instinct of just knowing I have to be great every single day. Wake up greatness, wake up greatness. Yo, if it means I'm waking up 5 a.m. to take 100 shots, and then people come in at 7 to see me on my 1,000th shot, whatever, do you know what I mean? Like that obsession for self-improvement is something that I live by on a day-to-day. And I think a lot of artists are now knowing that they have to embrace, this nature, just to be, not even like I want to be the best, the number one artist, wherever it is, but to be the best version of themselves. They have to tap into something way different. You know what I mean? And
That's it.
finding, that every day is so key. Like even me, like I obsessively watch, comebacks. Like I'll watch like a Liverpool 3-0 down, or I'll watch,
Bro.
LeBron James down in the series against Golden State, because I just want to know, okay, cool, he was 3-1 down. Everyone's saying, no, 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 you can't do it, you can't do it. And then out of nowhere, like you find out your realest self in these moments. You know what
That's
I mean? And
literally
everybody's truest forms are showing up in this like current climate of, COVID-19 and stuff like that. Obviously, we've had, deaths and everything like that. But
mm,
in terms of mindset of people who are actually still trying to pursue their dreams, we're seeing that. Do you know what I mean? We're seeing true work ethic. We're seeing people with great mindsets behind their work. We're seeing exactly what we truly are. Do you know what I mean? How far we're willing to go, how much we want to step up. Do you know what I mean? And I think you're locking into that mindset daily. Do you know what I mean? And even, finding out more and more about yourself every single time, you do stuff.
definitely. Like honestly, it's we can have a chat about art all day long. Like
Yeah,
even
yeah,
within that hour, it's I can go through hundreds of works that I've been through. But
yeah.
like you mentioned, like it's all gravy, the good stuff. But how is it that like I never intended, the podcast to be this one, but it's like,
Mm.
all right, cool. When it's not going right, do you give up? Or how like I want people to see like when I'm established, like boom, all right, cool, resistant, yes, we know him. I want the viewers to know, like you said, like I appreciate so much that you just given me a different perspective of like you watch, the free meals, the matches that how do people come back, and that's what I'm at in my personal life,
Mm.
literally right now. Like, are you aware of Inky Johnson by any chance, the football player, the NFL, I guess. So basically,
Yes, 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 yes.
his arm basically got, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
But
Basically, just don't work anymore. Like, yeah, I don't even know what the word is, but he said something that's just sticking with me right now. Is that at a time of adversity, that's where you find out where man stands,
yeah.
and it's like it's all good. Like the art, yes, it's easy. We can do it. Us artists, creatives, we can do our work day and night. But
Mm.
it's like, you know, we have to prepare ourselves for, because no one saw this coming. I
No.
did not see this coming. And, but I definitely have to give a huge shout out to people that don't even feel like they're working on themselves rather than the work, which is still
Mm.
commendable,
Oh,
applaudable. That's,
100%.
what I'm saying? Like, you definitely mentioned that. And it's like, as long as you're working on yourself, man, like everything will come at its due time.
100%. And it's like we we're in a stage where it's character building,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you know what, do we go back to how things were, and is
trust.
how we were before this, were they the truest forms of ourselves, or were we just on this weird autopilot, where it was just like, oh, it's a routine right now. It's just like, we almost feel like like me personally, I almost feel like I'm in a different stride or a different frequency now,
That's the word.
because the world's just a little bit slower. Do you know what I mean? And trust me, when the world becomes fast again, we will all be very different for good reasons as well,
Yeah.
because we've the world has slowed down together. Because
Mm,
before it was like, oh, I'm not too sure. I got to figure out a time to get this, a time to get that. Everything we spoke about was time, 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 time. Giving time to make money, time, 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 time. Now everything's shut. We have all the time in the world. Right now we're millionaires, bro, in time. This time
trust me.
is a beautiful currency that we all have. Do you know what I mean? And if it's time for us to rest and understand self again, for that next stage, or for when the world becomes efficient again, I think everybody will be more prepared. Do you know what I mean? Even going back to you, um, I think now people will start looking at your art very differently now, and actually appreciating it, from this perspective, because of where your mind's at, and because you're storytelling. Because even, looking at your work, you put in, tattoos on yourselves and stuff like that. I
That's
mean,
mm,
you were mentioning before, I think, I don't know where I heard it, or I think you've told me personally, where you just said, I'm not allowed to have tattoos based on my
yeah.
culture. So
Mm,
I put it on here. Do you know what I mean? It's just like small, like, I wouldn't call it small stuff, major stuff like that. Those are big stories, you know what I mean, and big concepts that you can actually expand on. But you're a person who's looking to change the perception of what it is to be Bengali in this new era, in this new stage, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you're going to lead that generation, I think, bro, you're equipping yourself very well for it.
That's it. Another thing I realized, like I mean, I kind of knew before, but I just refreshed my mind. Like
Hmm.
maybe I'm going through all that I'm going through, just so the next person that's coming, like they don't have to go through that. It's like
Mm.
all the people that the trendsetters, whatever you want to call them, trailblazers. That's one thing I love about uni. The mindset that they gave. Yeah, I mean, like what the amount of debt. I mean, yes, it's crazy, but
Mm.
there's one thing that is priceless that I took from my lectures. They made me watch Dogtown and Z-Boy. So that's like a skateboarding. In a nutshell, they made me watch, always kept my mind aware of trendsetters,
Mm.
and making the world better. So it's like they made us watch, documentaries on Dyson. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with the damn Hoover? But it's like, no, watch how someone gets it as well, man. He said, like, you look around in the room, everything that you see, someone was, sane enough to be like, what, that needs to be created. But then
Yep.
beside them, someone said, nah, man, you're crazy. That could never happen. A door handle. Like no one thinks about these kind of things. And what I wanted to tap into, yeah. So this is gonna tie into everything. Like, so how you said, why is it that you don't see Bengalis, working on art as such?
Mm.
Mostly because majority of Bengalis are Muslims. Now, me being a Muslim, that's the whole point of the tattoo project. Like, it's gonna sound controversial. My art career is gonna sound controversial to a lot of people. I'm
Mm.
aware of that. I'm aware of, like, what I'm doing.
Mm.
So the tattoo, the tattoo project, called My Tattoos, My Story. The whole purpose, yes, I'm a Muslim. I'm not allowed to have tattoos, but if I could, what could I have on my body, and why
Yeah.
do I want it?
Mm.
So just to tap into, who I'm inspired by is definitely like the LA culture, the street culture. As much as I don't want to, you know, act like I'm one of the hood people,
Mm.
trying to that clout stuff. No, no. The more stuff, I'm intrigued by how every single gang member or street culture has tattoos, but they have a story to tell. Like each person is different from the next person, and they
No,
can
for
be in the same
sure.
territory. So
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
what I have on my chest, like that's this what I have on my chest. I don't even know if you know what I have on my chest on the tattoo piece, on the portrait. This is gonna make sense. Everything in a nutshell, what we spoke about, it's gonna make sense.
Mm.
Nobody knows what I go through. That's what's stuck on my chest.
Yeah.
So for me to go through everything, to some people it might seem like, man, get a grip, or some people be like, okay, I understand what you're going through. Because I'll be honest, it's in my room, stuck on my room, the portrait. I have family members, my uncles come down to visit, the house. They walk and they see the artwork and they don't bat an eye. They think I've got nobody knows what I go through on my chest because it looks pretty. But
Mm.
it's like, no, like my art, once again, it has a deeper meaning. Like,
Mm.
but yeah, that all that will be explained at the exhibitions and stuff. But yeah, definitely just wanted to, tie in what you just said.
Yeah, no, I think it's again, bro, like storytelling, purpose,
Mm,
changing perceptions. And I think
spike.
you're a pioneer, bro. Like, and not many will try and go over the line to do that. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? And I think your bravery in itself, speaks a lot about your character and what you're going to become as a man. Do you know what I mean? And as an artist, because I guarantee you, there's a young kid out there who's just like you right now, thinking, "Yo, who can I look up to that's like me and different?" You know what I mean? And practice the same religion I
mm,
have as well, but we're just showcasing it in an
yes.
art form. So I think bro, keep pushing, because I think what you're doing is very important. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
And I think I brought you on here just to understand more on your why, because I've
mm,
seen in your early stages you used to do like visuals when you were speaking to the camera and actually speaking a message, and I was thinking, what is this guy really talking about? Like, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? And just seeing it over and over again, and it's just like he's really looking to push a different narrative. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to push a different narrative for artists in this world, like, where it's just like it's not just highbrow and white folk in suits with gray hairs
mm,
taking the art and selling it for high prices and being elitist. No, there's a different culture in here that that's cool, that's heavy, and that's different. You know what I mean? So And even like with Africa right now, yeah, you know, looking at Nigeria, for instance, where I'm from, it's like they're
Yeah,
embracing creativity at such a level. I'm like, it's like 15 years ago, you weren't even bat eyelid at this stuff. But
that's
now it's like they're so open to it and it's so beautiful to see. But that's just taking years and years of us just pushing the envelope, pushing the needle every single time.
that's it.
Artists like Wizkid, Burna Boy, platforms like Art Lagos, K&D, Wiley, who, you know, does work for Swiss Beats and stuff like that. It's just
Mm,
stuff like that that's just opening doors. And, you know, I 100% believe that, you know, Bengali culture, Asian culture, they're going to see that, like, and that's going to be another renaissance period for you. Do you know what I mean? And I
mm,
think, bro, keep pushing. You know what I mean? Keep on pushing, because that's, for me, it's like I'm literally feeling that energy right now. It's like, bro, he can do it, bro. He can do it. You know?
definitely, man. Like I have to, like, yeah, knowing why I do what I do. Yeah, I just, like, it will make sense why I say, you know, I'm inspired by the, you know, the likes of the Spike Lees, the John Singletons. They
Mm,
all had a story to share. And, you know, me, like, obviously me being, you know, from the culture, religion where I'm from, it's like, I just have to be aware. It's a heavy load to carry, for sure.
mm,
And I have to be so aware of what I do, because I don't want to be, there's a, you know, borderline of, you know, other people's perception, which I'm not
yeah.
too worried about, because I know deep down in my core what I do, why I do, and the reason for why I do it. So
Mm,
I just got to be, you know, long story short, me and God, I'm just trying to be on that level where that reason where I like, there's a deeper reason to why I do what I do, and it's just not for, you know, bants or just to be a rebel, if
yeah.
that makes sense. But yeah,
Yeah. Bro, let me say that. Just keep doing what you're doing. And it's
mm,
just sick to see. And I definitely look forward to, you know, your next exhibition, because I know it's going to be driven by something
it's
greater than yourself. Do you know what I
that's it.
mean? And you're going to inspire loads of young kids who think like you. Do you know what I mean? Because you're inspiring me just by, you know, hearing the bravery in your voice and in your approach. And I'm definitely applauding you on that one.
Bro, I appreciate every time, man. Like, I appreciate you. I can't remember the pivotal moment of where we, you know, met, but man, it's like you can already tell, like, nothing happens by mistake. You don't meet
Mm.
people by coincidence, and it's just, I'm blessed to, you know, have you in my life, and just
I love,
you
bro.
definitely, even if you don't, like, we don't meet every now and then, but, you know, even off the social media or just like you tweeting, I still get that, you know, I still learn from you. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. So
No,
definitely
bro,
appreciate you, bro.
it's always love. Do you know what I mean? And it's I don't maybe because you're one of the originals who started with me on the art meets music, but now art meets culture journey.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's just incredible to see the growth, and it's just like I almost like, I want to say like, oh, feel like a happy dad or some shit like that. But
yeah.
it's
Nah, but
almost
I
like,
definitely know what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
saying.
it's just phenomenal to see the growth of everyone who's been on the platform. And you know, I'm happy I've maintained phenomenal relationships over the years. And it's like, you know me already. It's like I don't act bougie in this. I literally just
Mm,
have conversations in DM, and just say, look, I hope you're still doing what you're doing. Hope you're still pursuing art. I'm super happy that, you know, you're not giving up, or everybody else is not giving up. It's just showcasing that consistency throughout the years. You know what I mean? Even though we don't talk often, but you know, a like, a comment, or you know, me
mm.
putting something on my story that's motivational. You know what I mean? Sharing that energy. You know what I mean? That's all communication in itself. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. That's literally it. Like, we might not, like, this is to the world, like, the frequency is always there, man. Like, just got to align with it, wherever you're pursuing. And you will come across the right people, man. That's for sure.
100%. So we've rambled. I think
Yeah,
this
man.
is going to be like a phenomenal motivational podcast with the elements of art in it. But for future artists coming up, you know, what will be like your three pieces of advice that you would give them?
Number one, just so, you know, people that are going for longevity, you know, trying to create a brand or a story for themselves, number one, you got to know why you're doing it. You know, number two, have people from different walks of life around you. So you get that information, you're prepped, you're prepared for all angles of life.
Facts.
That's number two. And then number three, don't be afraid to just get your work out there, because your first work, for the people that haven't even gotten anything out, or it's been a long while since they haven't got anything out, guarantee you people are more happy to see the development in your work than rather you just, waiting for that perfect, artwork to come out. And then, like, there's never a better time than now. So that's it.
For sure, bro. Heavily appreciate you coming on, man.
I
Heavily
appreciate you
appreciate
for
it.
having me, bro.
Bro,
It's
it's
been a
like,
long time coming, so
yeah, man, it's been a
it's all
very
good.
long time, but it's always great to, hear the story so far of an artist. You know what I mean? We don't wait till like you're just on some esoteric level where we just, let's interview him now because he's huge. It's like, no, let me check in with an artist who I've known for years. And, I know their passions and I want them to, express that story. So thank you for sharing your story and, your motivation behind what you do.
So good, my bro.
Yeah.
It's all good. Anytime, man.
Where can we
Literally.
find you?
My socials for my artwork, if you want to see what I do, it's Art by Resistant. And then if you want to hear what I do, on the Twitter, it's Art by Resistant. So mainly I'm, using Instagram for everything, to be honest. Like Instagram, you'll get my updates for my exhibitions. You'll see the preview works of what I do. If you're lucky enough, sometimes I just delete them. But honestly, yeah, Instagram is definitely the place to catch me. So Art by Resistant.
Epic. And are you selling any of your pieces right now?
I do have the, nice kids, but people are going to have to DM me, because for sure it was, that £5 was only for that day in it. So I hope people don't bombard
Yeah,
me. Like, I thought
man.
you said
No,
the £5.
yeah, listen, let me tell you something. He's up in the price. He understands his value. So, invest in him, um, so he can bring more collections from our era, our culture and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? He really supports and he really does his research. So invest.
I'm
Yeah.
saying,
All right, bro.
appreciate it, man.
All right, love, appreciations.
Take care, bro. Stay blessed.
Yes.